Okay, we're rock and rolling, so to speak. Let me give you one more example. Southwood. No, actually it wasn't. It was St. George. We'll call her Kathy. She runs out of the day center, day program, runs back home. I was the head resident of that household. She was the one that nearly killed me with a boulder. She was the one that would bite people's cheeks. She comes running in. I'm chasing after her. She's in the living room. She grabs a chair and puts it up over her head and says, I'm going to throw this right through the window. She's the one that was going to set the curtains on fire, remember? And I got into an egg fight. So now, this was before that. She's about to throw the chair through the window. And I look at her and truly say, that window is not big enough. Your anger is so immense. I want you to think about maybe that window over there. Footnote. It's plexiglass, okay? Good old Michael Thor puts plexiglass in all the windows because they get popped out on a regular basis. Never prescribe a symptom you don't actually want to live with. That's why I didn't say those curtains aren't big enough for you to light. You need bigger curtains. No, this is a window. I said it's not big enough. You have so much anger pent up. I want you to consider throwing it through that window over there. Then, let's see, the chair's going to go out probably about, what do you think, 10 feet out, something like that. I want you to walk down the stairs. I swear to God, I think there's 8 of them. I actually can't. There's 8 stairs, bless you. I want you to pick up that chair, come back, go back up those 8 stairs. I want you then, I don't know if it's the left window or the one over there on the right. That'll be up to you. I want you to throw that chair. By the time I got to that, she obviously puts the chair down and goes, fuck you, I'm going to my room. True story. What, you think she's going to let me do stuff? Never mind all those numbers. I didn't know that back then. I didn't know all about prefrontal. Field wasn't the way it is now. We didn't have all this fMRI and all this stuff. But we were actually making sense in a way that we didn't know why we were making sense, but I kind of knew I needed to get her out of the state she was in. She was in a totally altered state. Okay. Group therapy. It'll be your best moment and your worst moment you will ever have in doing therapy, particularly with adolescents. It's Tuesday. It's 3:01, and you have this knot in your tummy. You're just like, ow! And you don't know why. Is it something I ate? And then you suddenly realize, oh, shit. I've got group tomorrow. I've got that damn adolescent group tomorrow at 10. And you're already worrying about it. And your body was already worrying before your brain got anywhere near the thought. But you're so insightful and reflexive, you kind of went, oh, I know what this is about. When I first came to Southwood, the program basically, first of all, we needed you interns. And we had all these groups. So we would just, I'm so sorry, just send you into a room with like 8 adolescents. They're like piranhas. You're like a little guppy. They just eat you up. So we learned not to do that. We would run the group, you join us, and then we would transfer power, so to speak. And we also got to the point where, because it's really important, the way at least I think group with adolescents in particular need to happen, that you weren't actually part of the group. You were outside the group, sitting here, there, in there, and you made comments. But we'll get to that in a moment. Obviously, why is group therapy a modality one might consider with adolescents?
Peer relationships.
Yeah. Peers are the most important thing in their lives, and it ought to be and needs to be. Not you, not the adult world, peers. So put them together with their peers. Now, they can escalate and contaminate and go bonkeronis, and all that id kid part comes out. Or you can help them in amazing ways, amazing ways. It's an amazingly powerful medium. Any of you do groups, by the way? There you go. Cool. Okay. Now, again, I'm going to give you a certain model, a certain approach. If it makes any sense, you might try it out. Obviously, after you've talked to whom? Your supervisor, obviously. And there are different, as you know, Yalom, there's all kinds of different theories of group and whatnot. I grew up, as you know, in Jungian context, Gestalt context, Esalen encounter group context, all that stuff. So let me give you one model. I call it the most typical. If you didn't know how to do group and we just suddenly cleared this room and brought in 8 adolescents and have them sit around, you would probably do what I call hub of the wheel group therapy. You are the center, and you kind of talk to each kid who talks to you. Even if they're complaining or have something to say about this kid here, they'll talk to you. Bobby's not being fair to me. And you'll get seduced into just talking to them. It's kind of multimodal individual therapy. Well, not multimodal. It's like multi-person individual therapy. How was your past? Because this is an inpatient place. Oh, it was so-and-so. How was it? And you're just talking to each one individually. I think while that may be useful in various ways, it misses the power potential of the group as a gestalt, as a whole. But it's very seductive because they'll do the same thing. They'll talk to you. Even if they're talking about Christy, they'll say, well, Christy, da-da-da-da. And then when you say, well, talk to Christy. Well, so she is doing da-da-da-da-da. So even though they're looking at Christy, they're still talking to you about what she is doing. It's amazing. Because it's so powerful. Because peers is so powerful. By the way, if they said something like, I don't trust her. A big global, I don't trust anybody in this group. What you want to do is say, oh, wow, that's a powerful feeling. I would imagine you might feel alone in that. Let's get specific. Do you trust them with your Led Zeppelin album? And it's an actual album. You know, you go through some specific prefrontal cortex, and you'll find the ways they do trust and don't trust. We'll have some details. So instead of the hub of the wheel, I propose, and again, it's just me, lots of people do this, what I call the pool player model. The group is, well, the format is a pool table, and the group members are pool balls. You're not one of the pool balls. You're outside of the forum. It's also known as the movie director model. You're out here. Let's say, and usually in any given group, you'll see in this tape, the most powerful person in that group was Katie. You'll see Katie. She was wonderful. Usually one of the teens is the most powerful one. Like the one who mocked me, she obviously was going to be the most powerful one in the group. I just needed to somehow get her working with me in the group. And let's just say that the most powerful one, well, since I already picked on Christy, we'll say Christy's the powerful one. No, actually, we'll say Christy's cooperative. Margaret's the powerful one. But she's sullen and silent. So Margaret's here. I want her to cooperate. I want her to say something, because I know if she does, this whole group is going to change character. So she's my 8-ball corner pocket. I'd be an idiot to say, Margaret, could you please share with this group, blah, 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 blah. And by the way, use words like with this group and whatnot, not with me. She kept giving me one of those looks like, or not even look up. She's just too bored. Ah. As we can see from the seating, Margaret rooms with Jacqueline. Jacqueline is good buds with Chang. Christy's got a crush on Chang. Chang is cooperative. Jacqueline and Christy are best friends. Here we go. Chang, tell a group about your past. He's going to talk. He's cooperative. Could you ask Christy? Whoa, man, she's going to be cooperative? You kidding? Choose somebody in the room and their best friend. She's going to choose her. Here comes 8-ball corner pocket. Ask Margaret to share. She's not going to diss her roommate. Ta-da! Bing! Now, obviously, so oversimplistic. Never mind, can you imagine how hard it is to do a 4-ball shot in pool? People are much more complicated than pool balls. So maybe you're on the outs, maybe it could be a zillion factors. But that concept, I want you to think about it in terms of a gestalt, a group, a factor of. Also known as a movie director. I need you to try out this, I need you to do that, what I call to do pieces. One of the things that teens hate, especially the male teens, is, oh God, you want me to talk about my feelings? How do I feel? I feel this is ridiculous. I feel this is stupid. I feel this group sucks. I feel you suck. This is just stupid. Oh, now you're happy? There are my feelings. Blah. Oh, I feel so much better now. Again, they're motivated to do. You got to get their dopamine up and whatnot. Pieces are, as you'll see in a moment, little mini gestalt psychodrama things to edify things. That's a really quick, simple one. So you come on up here. Okay, so your amygdala is firing. You're going to be just fine.
Okay.
I want you to pick somebody in the group. to be 6-year-old you?
6-year-old me?
Yeah, 6-year-old you.
Raymond.
Raymond, you're the man. Perfect. Did you have a nickname or something when you were 6? Cece. Cece, you're going to be Cece now for the next 38 seconds. So come on over here. I want you to introduce to the group Cece, who's 6-year-old you. And just tell the group about Cece, what she likes. You can be a little closer to Cece. She might be feeling a little lonely out here. Big Cece. Go ahead. Tell the group about Cece.
This is Cece, who has, at the age of 6, has already pretty much lived 4 different places, went to 3 different schools, envisioned to become an astronaut when Cece gets older. Has an older brother and a younger brother, and pretty much followed her older brother everywhere, would pretend that he was a G.I. Joe and go in the woods behind the house and play. And Cece's the type of person who loved to get dirty, play in the sandbox. Very little friends, but pretty much admired her older brother.
Beautiful. Group, a few questions about Cece. Ask Cynthia about Cece. Any question you might have.
What was Cece's favorite color?
Red.
Did Cece play in sports? Does Cece?
At 6 or
At 6.
at 6, she would run, but not any formal sports.
Cece, would you like to tell the group why you wanted to be an astronaut? Or why you wanted to be?
Because Cece saw a commercial one day. I think it may have been Encyclopedia commercial. There's astronauts that were pictured in it, and they had showed a clip from, I think, going on the moon, and so that was interesting to her.
So that seemed really cool and going there.
Adventurous, yeah.
Very cool. Cece, what would you like to say to adult you? Might be profound, it might be simple, trite, doesn't matter. What would you like to say?
I like the direction that you're heading in life. And I think even though, you're not an astronaut, as I thought you would be, but you definitely take on a lot of the inspiration that stem from that idea.
Cool. And what would you like to say to little Cece?
Thank you for being adventurous, and thank you for thinking outside the box, and having that spunk to want to try different things. And the times in the woods and pretending I was G.I. Joe has paid off, and has allowed me and prepared me to tackle the bigger jungle I call life.
Oh, fantastic. I feel like you should hug, but that's not my business. Oh, okay. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. Okay, getting just a little hint of how this is. And this is under this really weird kind of context with a video camera and all that. It's unbelievably powerful. And by the way, the two of you will end up being in some way potentially connected just for this experience, because group is about, I don't know if you ever saw string art. It's a bunch of like nails or something. You take colored string and you weave this marvelous mandala-esque pattern. That's what you're doing. You're weaving connections. And all of you have little 6-year-old Cece that had dreams. And all of you have adult you. And so not only we moved in that way, but when we moved here, we're doing our own little grouping, bridging with our own little 6-year-old. It's incredibly powerful. And notice what I do as a therapist. I just make a suggestion. I guide you, and then I get out of the way. I'm always over here. I'm listening to what you're saying, what you're doing, thinking where should we go next. And then I come in and just go, tell her. It's very directive. Tell her this, tell her that. Has something to say. Might be trite, might be profound. I was hoping you'd say something about the astronaut thing. And you can give them a cue. You can say, I'm thinking maybe space, astronaut. What does that mean? Okay? Our mirror neurons are just going marvelously crazy in this context. Okay, all right. A little bigger challenge. Who's feeling brave? Who's got their inner brave part willing to come up here? Oh, okay. Your brave part is telling his brave part to come up here.
No, I thought you want to go up together.
Oh, very cool. Well, let me. Oh, that's sweet. Let me tell you what I'm going to have you do. In fairness, I want you all to think of a trait, quality, attribute, aspect of yourself, part of yourself, that's not your favorite part, that might get in your way sometimes or a lot. Okay, you got one? So what I want to do is do a piece on that part. Okay? So obviously I'm going to have you come up, and what am I going to do? What do you think I'm going to do in this group therapy context?
Separate up the part.
Of course, very good, well said. I'm going to have you come up. I'm going to have you pick somebody in the room to represent that part of you. It's like 3D play therapy with adults. You can describe that part and whatnot, and then I'm going to have you do some kind of a dialogue. And what's going to happen out of that dialogue is we're going to discover more and more parts. We'll just listen as you talk. Oh, there'll be this other part. Oh, this other part. That. And so by then, we're going to have at least 3 or 4 or 8 people up here representing different aspects of yourself. Okay? So that's what I'm going to have you do. Who's up for doing that? You're up for doing that. Come on up. All right. Okay. So you can either first tell us what this part is and then pick it, or you can pick somebody and then describe this part after you pick them. You're picking somebody to represent that part of yourself.
This has nothing, you guys aren't this, so.
Okay, come on over here just so the camera.
Volunteer?
They might want to know what that part is. Oh, they'll volunteer, brave one. There's your inner brave one. If nothing else, you'll increase your self-respect, hopefully, when you leave. Okay.
Okay.
Well, let's wait. That's great because I'm sure there'll be more than one part.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm sorry. I need to come here just so that you're in camera view. So tell us about what this part is.
Okay, so do I just refer to...
Yeah. Well, tell. Yeah. Either way. What is the part?
like intrusiveness.
Okay. This is a part of you that's intrusive.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. Tell us. Would you have a name for? Is it a him or her? Even though she's a she, obviously. But as you imagine this part.
I kind of say like trying to be a mom to everybody.
Oh, okay. So it's definitely a her. Oh,
Yeah.
so it's an inner mom. So what would you call this part?
Mom, like a helicopter mom.
Helicopter mom. Okay, so here's copter.
Copter.
Yeah, or something. Helicopter mom or copter for short, if that's okay with you. Okay, here's copter. Introduce copter. And by the way, it's really important, as you know, to name the part as separate from you and hopefully something that's playful, light.
Yeah.
Tell the group about copter.
So this is Copter. She has the best intentions, but sometimes she can come out as kind of overbearing because she wants to help others and tries to give them advice or suggestions or helpful things.
Overbearing. Come on up.
But sometimes she can give them too much or kind of like make them anxious because she tries to help them so much and she tries to give them things that will help them, and she kind of comes off as, she might come off as a little too, what's the word, like a little too...
Well, is it like know-it-all? I mean, you said...
Yeah, or zealous or like...
Oh, too enthusiastic, know-it-all, zealous. And you said intrusive, didn't you say?
Yeah.
Right, overbearing was the
Yeah,
word.
overbearing.
Okay. So Jan's going to be that part of her, because she's actually separate parts in a way, copter, that's kind of overbearing, intrusive, wants to tell them all that. Now there's also a that of her you said that has some wisdom or something? Has some...
Yeah, I guess.
Well, let me do it
Oh,
differently.
we
Let me
can
do it
good-
differently.
We can do good
Let me
things too.
let me do it differently. How does she function for you? Every part of us functions for us in some way.
Well, it definitely feels good to help people.
Okay, so it's the helper part. Shay, come on up. The helper part.
Yeah.
Perfect. So here we got the helper, and that feels good. Okay. Actually, you're going to be over on this part. See, I'm very directive because I have a very clear idea. These are separate parts. These are polarities. Think Jung, think Gestalt, think those ways. So you got the helper part, helps people, does well.
Yeah.
We've got and this is all part of copter here, we've got that kind of intrusive, that part.
Yeah. Or overbearing.
Overbearing part. Okay. Tell her why you're doing what you're doing, why it's important to be overbearing. You've got to tell people. Tell her why you're doing that, how you function.
If I'm not overbearing, maybe I don't get to help people. And I really want to get in there. I want to be involved. I want to be helpful. I want to be needed.
Okay.
Set myself, and I don't get to do that.
Okay. So helpful part. Tell her how you appreciate how she's trying to clear the way for you, but that perhaps that defeats the purpose or something. You'll think of something. You want to help. You're the helper part. She's actually saying, yeah, it's important to help. But she's saying you got to get in there. So you might have some words to her.
So you care so much about people, and that's an outstanding quality. And I can understand how sometimes you feel like they can't help themselves if you don't get in there. Like you can see things from the outside that maybe they can't see, so you have all the answers. And if they would only listen to you, then you can help make their lives better. But sometimes,
So true.
Come on.
but sometimes people aren't ready to hear that, and a lot of times helping is just being available rather than fixing things.
Enter assertive part. Now, you're right in between. You're going to get, when you think like, wait a minute, you're not getting through here, you're not going to be able to be helpful enough. Okay? You're going to, this is your deputy. You're going to say, look, not getting through, okay? Now, I know I can be kind of a bully and whatnot. We need your savviness, your elegance, okay, to kind of make sure that this gets heard, she gets heard, but not in a way that blows the person away. Are you okay with that? Yes? You're sure? You're going to, okay. You're going to keep checking in, and if you think she's not doing her job, you're going to go, wait, come here, come on. Okay, but you're going to, okay. Most importantly, are you okay with that?
Assertiveness?
Being that the bully part, we'll call it the bully, sorry, but they're overbearing, whatever. Overcaring maybe almost.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll call her is going to use an assertive part because she's so kind, caring, sensitive, she might even like, oh, I see the person's not really, you sound maybe overly back off. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, sure.
You're okay with that? Okay, because you're the most important person here.
Yay.
And you're okay with that?
Sure.
Now, how are you with this?
I'm great.
You are?
I'm just trying to help everybody.
Okay, of course, you're very helpful. So you get the idea. You're going to listen to her. You're going to listen to her. You're going to listen, then you're going to listen to her. And you're, of course, managing the whole thing.
Okay.
Are you okay with that? Because you're kind of you're the department chair here, the head of this. Yes?
Yes, everyone gets along.
Okay. High fives? All the way around? To each other? To each other? To each other? To each other? High fives, high five, high five, high five, bum. Okay? Very good.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Very good. Very good. We're done on this piece. I know it looks like you're not feeling finished. I'm sorry. I have to be assertive because I want to make sure the class ends on time. Thank you very much. Applause. Hello, people. Cues. Let's go. Now, I know, believe me, I know this is over facile, over simplistic. I know life's much more complicated than that, of course. And I just, apparently that didn't feel quite finished, whatever. I appreciate that. But I want you to get the sense of how this operates. Because guess what? Teens love this. They love this. Like, wait, I want to do a piece. I want to do a piece. And it's really cool. You'll see on the tape. They'll go, wait, it was my turn. When you had kids like standing going, hey, it's my turn, I want to do it, you're doing something right.
Do you have a name for that technique?
Why? It's really like drama, psychodrama, or gestalt. I mean, there's a lot of different kind of rubrics. I call it, as I said, the pool player model. Yes?
And have you found that pretty much the other kids teens that play the parts, separate parts, are they pretty much also excited to?
Oh, absolutely. They're like, hey, me, well, baby. Most, not every time, but mostly. And you can do really heavy things. I mean, if a kid is AWOL, we always leave an empty chair for that kid. And you talk to that. You tell that kid what you want to tell him. Somebody's been abused or whatever, we have them. Oh, this one, I'll never forget this one. God, even just thinking of it starts to bring tears to my eyes. It's very easy to identify with the victim. The kids you work with, a lot have been abused and victims. Some of them are perpetrators. They do bad things in the world. It's much harder to accept that part of them. And I remember there was one girl, toughy girl, but she was sweet in group. And then we looked at her history and we said, you know, you've done, and we said, Greer Essex used to run this group. I know it's hard for us to acknowledge the part of you that can be brutal. Tell us the time you were brutal. She said, one of the ones I feel worst about was we were driving by this movie theater and there was these cute little girl, young teens, and one of them looked like just a little perfect blonde, blue-eyed cheerleader. So I got out of the car and I called her over and I beat the shit out of her. Oh, yeah. And I said, whoa. She says, I feel really bad. So, I know. So of course, you get the chance. I said, who do you want to pick to be the teen? And she looked at me, I'll never forget this. She goes, oh, that's way too easy. Well, Connie, that's so way too easy. I want to pick her father because I want to tell her dad what I did to his little girl. Oh my God, it was the most amazing thing. Amazing piece she did, talking to this dad of this girl. And it was so brilliant of her to catch that loop. You know, and the power of the group to do that, oh my, not a dry eye. I don't care how cynical, not a dry eye. And there are others. I remember this one guy, he was cool too. He doesn't say much, and he's like, we took and he was. It's like, too much dope, man, or something. We took a video camera and said, okay, let's go around, look in that lens and say something to somebody that you've never said this to, or you want to tell them something. Tell them whatever it is. So we go around. This kid who hasn't said barely a word says, I want to talk to my dead grandmother, and I want to tell her where I am now and where I'm going to be. It was poetry. It was 5 minutes of poetry. And whenever interns would come and say, I don't know how to get this guy, I said, come, you got to watch this tape. This is the other part of this kid. I remember one, AWOL, comes back. Again, this is substance abuse residential, right? We did the future you, all that stuff. I don't care about all. I said, oh my God, I realized the part of you that doesn't want to use, dead. Let's have a funeral. Greer, let's do this. Greer was incredible. She gets out a big tom-tom. Don't we lower the lights. Again, this is like this, only without any chair, where it's all open space. Put it down. Who should be dead you? The part of you that doesn't use anymore, or that didn't want to use, now is dead. Say pigs. I said, okay, but you want you to be at the end of the room. And behind, there was this ping pong table. Behind the ping pong table, it's up. And I had this whole image. We're going to have this funeral, we're going to have a eulogy, and then we're going to pick up this part of him that doesn't want to use, and literally carry it out of the room while he just sits there. I thought this is going to be really cool. So we do that. Everybody comes up and says, I'm going to miss you, and says, sorry, blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, let's pick him up now. And they're like, well, wait, maybe we'll call him Brad. Maybe Brad wants to say something to this part. It occurred to me. Oh. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, cool. He gets up. He drops to his knees. I don't know what I'm going to do without you. Oh, God, I'm so scared now. Please. Oh, no. And I go, hallelujah, resurrection. Oh, my God, the fact that you're grieving the part is the part. It's back in you. It's resurrected. Just trust me. Get up. This is good. Because he's like, huh? I mean, you do stuff that's just awesome. Metaphor group. I'm a seal. What are you? Just be anything.
Panda.
You're a panda. You're love. You're a key. You're a whatever. We just go around, and then we start telling a story. Once upon a time, there was a seal, and they met a panda, blah, blah, blah. Unbelievable. The Shakespearean kind of dramas, and it's just fabulous. There's books, by the way, for techniques in group therapy. A simple one. Everybody gets a piece of paper out. Imagine the group is a car. Each person is a part of this car. Put the name of the person and what part they are. The radio, entertainment, the brakes, but it's kind of obvious. The amazing thing to me is I've never had anybody diss anybody in those things. By the way, that's the one rule in my groups. RESPECT, find out what it means to me. I can't tell you to respect, because respect is earned, but I can tell you to behave respectfully. You will behave respectfully. You can say the F word, but not to somebody. You don't, because that creates this safety. That doesn't breed connection. Simple rule. We used to have a rule about, this kid was so brilliant. The chair has to have all four legs on. Kids love to sit this way, and that whole deal. Or they'll sit this way. I mean, they'll find all kinds of ways. This kid was brilliant. Had all four down, he had facing forward. 2-point response. How do you do that? Think outside the box? He sat with his feet on this and his butt on this. Volcani, all 4 feet, facing right, come on. High five, brilliant, outside the box, sit down. Okay. You want to set a limit? Have somebody else set the limit. Kid doesn't want to be in the group? No problem. Who do you want to appoint to be you today in this group? All right, we'll have somebody else appoint. No, I have Bob. Okay, good. Ed, you're going to be him in this group. Whatever. You just, maybe. I'm trying to get the in control part of whomever, Howie, in charge. Who wants to be in charge of that part to help him do it? Don't you do it, have them do it. You're not an actor, you are a director. It's a very different concept. And they love this stuff. I mean, one kid was a liar, so we had him do a whole thing about the liar. How does the liar function for him? What's the good side? What's the dark side? Teach us how to lie. You do it so well. Give us 3 things. One's a lie, the other 2 are lies, 1 is truth. I mean, all that stuff. I mean, just play with it. It's all aspects of self. Play with it. Okay, you getting a sense of this? Imagery group. We're on a boat. We're going out to sea. We each have our own little boats. We're getting off. Now we're going down deep, deep, deep into the ocean. Each of us are going to find our own treasure. We're going to bring it back up to the surface. Share with the group what treasures you found. Oh, they loved imagery group. To them it was like sleep. But the amazing thing is they would, when we say you're coming back up, they'd hypnosis. What do you share? Okay? And you're connecting each other. And all the mirror neuron stuff. Okay. Hoi. Essay inoculation group. Substance abuse inoculation group. So I used to run the inpatient hospital. In those days, 2 months worth of insurance if you were with the campus military. Oh my God, you're lucky to get 2 days in a hospital nowadays. 2 months, you really can work with folks. And they would get on board. Problem is then they go out to the world. Hey Jen, I got a doobie here, man. Look at the size of that, it's like a cigar. Light up. It's a way to make contact and connection, right? Oh, there's 1,000,001 reasons. We've talked about this. Never mind. Oh, by the way, the dopamine centers for kids, teens, are more, they get saturated with this stuff more easily. So they get a higher high and a longer high. It's insidious. And then it makes more dopamine receptor sites. So now the withdrawal, never mind from that, but other stuff is really bad. It's terrible. So as much as you don't want to talk about your feelings, one of the things about really sharing deep feelings is you start to feel really connected. Not about, hey man, it's Acapulco Gold. But about, wow, really? God, that's awful that your dad did this or whatever. So I did want you to get addicted to real human contact. But I realize this is what they are actually going to face out in the world. So we better inoculate them to exactly those scenes and situations. And there's no better format than the group to do that. So that's what you're going to watch as Inoculation group. Because every Wednesday, we had group Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And on Wednesdays is Inoculation. I'd have them bring in their real honest-to-God bongs that smelled like honest-to-God dope because it had been used that way for long periods of time. By the way, I remember one group, he brought his stash box. It was a very nice wooden carved box where he'd keep all his dope. So when he was leaving, and this was from the residential where we had him for 6 months, the box was empty. We had him pass around the box, and each person gave him a gift. Here's the gift of courage. Here's the gift of... By the time that box came around to him, I was like, whoa, mana, man, that thing is floating. I would hope, I can't imagine, even with that strong user part of him, that he's ever going to put dope in that box again. It's sacred now. Sacred. Okay, so I'd have them bring their bongs. We'd use tea leaves. We'd use sugar and faux sugar as crystal meth or whatever. And we have them practice. Now there's some rules that you'll see. You are not to use. You're never actually going to practice using in this group. The staff will never represent the part of you that uses, ever. By the way, for recovering staff, this was by far the hardest group. They're like, whoa, we don't put ourselves in these situations. Right, very smart. These kids are going to be putting themselves in this situation, so we got to inoculate them. You will see a stop sign. I called Caltrans. I wanted a visual reminder to stop using. I said, you know, running this group, could you give us a stop? We'll buy it. And sure. So the stop sign you'll see in the background, I tell them, this reminds you to stop using. Every time you see a stop sign in the world, it reminds you to stop using. Every time you see red light, stop using. Every time you see the color red, stop using. You've got to get in there. The inner user is such a demon. It's so huge. It's a David and Goliath, man. Or Davey, if you're a little bit. But it's huge. So we're going to fight everywhere we can. And the logo for the unit, of course, was a stop sign. You'd see it everywhere. I remember a kid once told me, I actually had a dream about it, and I see the stop sign. Had another kid run away, and he used right underneath the stop sign. I'm sorry that part of you had such a need to show me that I'm not going to control you, among other things. So it's not always perfect, doesn't always work. It's really, really hard. But I know they needed this kind of thing. Okay. Questions? Are we getting this? Yes? All right, good. We're going to run through various inoculations. They knew, as you'll see, that this tape was going to be made. Let's get it well focused. Okay, get out of
Can I
there.
ask you a question while you're
Absolutely.
have you told us about November 3rd?
Oh, you don't? Oh, yeah, I did. God, great memory. Yeah, that my half sister was born on November 3rd, which is the same day that my best friend was born. I don't know if you remember that holding my half sister. I don't know if you were here. It was the Jung class. Oh, it was the Jung class. Yay for you! But I love the fact that you stay with that. Yeah, there was a whole synchronicity thing. See the Jung tape sometime because it's a very cool thing. Okay, I think we are ready to rock and roll. So again, as you'll see, they knew that they were going to be videoed. Their parents are going to see this video, sign consents and all that. And oh, wait, stop. Move this on. Come, warm up. Here we go. Perfect. Perfect. Watch video. Thank you. Which one did we say it was?
Can't see it well enough. VCR is there. VCR.
Watch DVDs. Oh, here we go. Watch video. DVA this player. Okay. Sorry, it's black and white. So pretty.
Holly, that's you? Yeah. Okay, Mark, you can see yourself. There's Tim. Don, gotcha. Very good. Katie, can you see yourself? You want it? No? Okay. Monica, you're always, can you hear? Come here, Monica. Oh, that's fine. You're way back, right? That's fine. Scott, you got yourself?
You can't see it.
Well, the trouble is scooted forward. You're not facing the side. Yes, well, this is being taped. Yeah, my mouth's on TV. That's right. Now, as you remember, I've been talking about keeping this group for how many weeks now? 3 or 4 weeks. As you also remember,
So you understand this part of this to the school, Tim?
correct, well, I don't know.
I am Tim. That's Tim. He's the one who was a mule for his parents at age 6,
We'll be seeing this tape on Monday.
passing money and
And
dope.
then, I want to take this tape to the school where I'm teaching graduate students. Okay, we'll do a hang on it. Graduate students who are working with all kinds of different clients, including people who do drugs. Okay? I know right now you're focusing on this more, but we're going to turn off the monitor in a moment.
No. Yeah, Marshall. Marshall?
Now you want to watch it. We're going to turn it off.
Do you have a question?
No? Okay. We'll do a tape. We'll have you look on Monday night with your parents. If you guys still feel okay about it, I will then have you sign permission that I can play this tape for the students. Okay?
The kid who's doing the camera didn't want to be on camera, so I said, great, run the camera. Now prescribe the symptom. They want to be edgy and wild, say, good, be edgy and wild. I remember there was one kid not in this one where he barked. I said, fantastic. End of the group, last 3 minutes, do at least 5 different animal sounds and teach us. Just go with it, structured for what time and for how long. So they're going to go wild for a moment or two.
Alright, we're going to turn this off now. Camera's still rolling.
I want to knock that Tim first.
Can I not see it, Monica?
See how they're anxious to do it. They want to do it.
Okay.
I'm gonna knock like John.
Okay, and what-
inoculate. No, I'm not gonna.
we'll do several inoculations, then we'll do some of the other things. Inoculations is, well, somebody explain to Marshall what, that's right, we have Marshall and Scott.
2 people were brand new to the group.
What's the purpose?
To get a habit going around the option. Someone does ask you, you can say,
Stop! Good, very good. In the name of love, self-love.
I don't want you to.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard his explanation. It was perfect. Why are we doing this? So we got to learn the habit to say no. So when we go out there, we can say, stop, He's internalizing this. His healthy part is getting more and more ammunition against the darkness that's going to be out there waiting for him. Okay, and notice the atmosphere, the fun. They wanted to be doing this. That's really important.
No, I'm gonna do Tim first.
You want to do Tim
You
first?
want the bomb?
Okay, what drugs do you want me to inoculate with?
No, I know what Tim wants to do.
Well, no, wait, I want you to choose. Which drug? Okay, now, what's important is, and remember, I want you to get in contact with that part of you that does not want to use. We all know there's a part of you that wants to use. Everybody in the room, you've got a part that wants to use. Huh? No, as a matter of fact, it does. I'm very well coordinated. This is not intelligent. So it doesn't matter.
That's
what
Katie.
it is.
She has a lot of power in the group.
Why don't you get in contact with that part that doesn't want to use?
It's directive. I'm not asking them. I'm telling them. I want you to get in contact with that part of you that does not want to use. Everybody in this room has a part of them, all of us, has a part that wants to use. I want you to get in contact. I acknowledge that. I want you to get in contact with that part that does not want to use. They will never argue. Not one of them has ever argued with me as to whether they don't have that part. I don't have any part of me that doesn't want to use. I've never heard them say that. It might be 0.01%, but that's the part. That's my ally. That's my co-therapist. That's who I'm going for. And I want you to be in contact with that part now.
And is this a part in the group where you've built a lot of rapport, you've done a lot of work already?
Well, some, but again, they're two brand new people in this group.
It's different for...
They time keeps changing, but it doesn't matter as long as I have connection with Tim. He's powerful. Katie's powerful. They've been around. I know Tim's going to cooperate. And because you're using their need for each other, that whole pull, for the light against the darkness. Whereas usually they did exactly the opposite. They would all join together. Hey, you, oh, this is great shit. Now they're saying, don't use, stop. And your job, notice I'm standing up, they're sitting down. I just come in and out, in and out. And I'm just waiting and listening for any positive thing. Go, great. And you'll hear Katie, she's my co-therapist. Don't use. I'll go, great, Katie, yes, Katie, right on. And that's all I need to do. This group should be running itself, basically.
Hold the stop sign. Marshall, why don't you move over so that Joe can work with Tim here?
What's going on, Tim? I heard they locked your ass up south with mental health, man.
No, they go right into that rap.
So what have you been doing? Staying sober? Really?
Good.
Good.
Good, Tim. That's good.
Stop!
That's Katie.
Well, man, I got tired out. You want to break in?
Think of the times and the ways in which drugs have screwed up your life.
Breaking in? No breaking? Stop! Want to break in with me, man? I got this killer, but look at that.
I'm watching his face because it's going to change because it's real.
Look at those. Smell it. Smell.
You might have moved it.
If it gets too intense, you probably have to leave.
Want to go on?
Okay, good. That was good, Tim. Stay with the no.
Sherman on this joint, boy.
Okay, come on, stay with the no.
Hold on, give the light. Go ahead.
Stay with the no, and if you got very intense, you need to leave. Good.
Alright, you can get this with me, huh? Shit, I know you want some ass. Look at that.
Stay with the no, Tim.
Tim, what's wrong with you? Not like this shit. Come on, let's do it. One hit, come on. Stop. Man, once you stuff milk on your tongue, man, you can't resist.
And if you got too tempting for you, you need to leave.
What, me on you? Be cool, man. Put your shit away.
Good, that was good, Tim. That was
I
good.
can't prepare, buddy. I can't prepare. Oh, man, get that shit.
Good. Good. And if it's too tempting, you need to leave. You need to leave.
Man, this is good, man. Fair. 99 proof. Boy, you'll be on your ass.
No.
You'll be on your butt.
Let's pop in for a second. You're going to try more? Doesn't look like it. Try one more.
Oh, and man, look at this. Look at that. Cocaine enough for weekend music.
Again.
You want to do that?
No, man. Good. Now again. Okay, now get a little buck about it. But again, the key is Three things. One is to just continue to say no. That was very good. One is to continue to say no. Two.
Notice how radically different that is for this kid to be applauded enthusiastically for not using by his peers. Those voices count a zillion times more than any of us. If we can get
Because they're all users.
Of course, and they all have tremendous credibility. They're not an inpatient hospital unless it's really interfering with their lives. Okay? I want you to watch 2 more vignettes. It's a long tape. We're not going to see the whole thing. But I want you to watch at least a couple more vignettes. I then have them talk about what technique you use saying no. And if nothing, I'll say, hey, I need your support. Cool, back off, bud. Just, meta comment. I want you to watch Katie. Actually, I think the next one is, let's see here.
I'm trying to get some support from you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll probably show some of this kind of inoculation. We're going to do some of the imagery work. We're going to do a lot of different things.
Adopted emerging, how could you mean that?
How would you stop? All right, fine. We'll do some other things. We'll talk to the
What do you mean? I will.
Okay. Very good.
You want the bottle?
It's going fine.
Yes.
Okay.
On the sign.
Yeah, who's going to hold the stuff? Here. Well, we need to have somebody so she can see it.
So Monica's new. Monica has an eating disorder. Tim has the hots for Monica. Tim's holding the stop.
No, the stop. Make sure she sees
Hey,
the stop.
what you doing? I heard you been locked up. How you been? Okay. When you fall, got some killer side now. Stop. No. Yeah, sure, man.
Stay with the part that doesn't want to use, Monica.
Stay with the part that doesn't want to use.
Just, yeah, hold, no. Chair, just hold it steady for her.
I know you're going to stop at 7 now. No! Stop! No! Stop! That's cool, I'll work for you.
No.
I mean it. No, I mean it.
You don't need it. They call stuff and did to you.
Good, that's good, Kate. That's real good, Kate.
No, they did to you.
Good, Kate.
No, take them all out. Take them all out. They know how you're not.
Good. Good, Holly.
Yeah, run on. Think of what that did to you.
Listen to her. She's fabulous.
It tore you away from your family, Monica.
Good, Holly.
It ruined your life, Monica. No.
Well, you don't have to throw it across the room physically because they break the
I got it.
No.
Remember all the good times we had with Crystal? Yeah, no, I don't. Think what it did to you. Think how sick it made you. No. Wait, we can go to the beach. No.
Go to the beach, real good. Go to the beach, look at the birds.
Go to the beach, look at the birds.
We need a chair. Joe? All right, Janet, here we go. Now, I know this seems bizarre and absurd and silly and weird, but I want you to talk to the drug. Yep. Put this outside behind me. And I want you, here, I want you to hold that. I want you to tell these drugs how they ruined your life, how you deserve a better life for yourself, and how your life's going to be better without them. Tell these drugs.
I don't ask her, I tell her. Tell these drugs how your life is going to be better without them, how they ruined your life, how you deserve a better life. I don't ask her, do you, or whatever. I tell her, you tell these drugs that. They've never argued with me. They will then do that. Do you see how Katie was like a co-therapist? And she really meant, think of how it ruined your life. So we're going to actually just finish up after this one, because I know time is speeding away. So she's going to talk to the drugs. It's her first group.
Do whatever you want. Talk to them. Talk to them directly.
You had a bottle right here.
Right.
haven't had much of you, but it's hard.
Very
Okay,
good.
fine.
That's very good.
Acid. Talk to the acid.
Acid right here. You know, really fucked up my life.
Tell it how. Give it a couple examples of how it fucked up your life.
PFC, specifics versus global.
Embarrass me. You embarrass me.
Okay, good. You're doing real good.
It's hard. You're doing a good job. You're doing a good
Okay, one is it embarrass you. Take another drug. All right. Tell us some of the ways that it's ruined your life.
Well, this right here made me stupid.
Maybe stupid? In what way? How do you mean? Tell it how you made it. You're doing real well.
I don't know, excuse me.
Yeah, maybe the group can help you.
They can't ruin your body.
Okay?
They can't ruin your body.
That's good, Kate. Okay?
They can't ruin your family life.
Okay, good, Kate.
I don't got to say it.
Okay, good.
This right here, cocaine. That's cocaine.
Either way, it doesn't matter. Okay?
This is coke.
Tell it.
I guess messed up my brain some. I didn't do much of you.
Okay, but it messed up your brain some.
This right here.
Okay.
Crystal.
Okay?
Crystal fucked me up.
Tell us how it messed you up.
Maybe do things that will, maybe think that when I did this, that this was my life, that was my own whole life.
Okay.
And I don't know, made me sick, made me too skinny,
Okay.
and that's all.
Okay. No, very good.
Okay, getting a sense of this? I'm hoping when she's at a party and somebody hands her drugs, she remembers that. You made me sick. You made me stupid. And that she hears all those voices. Don't use. You deserve better, etc., etc. We don't have time. The next one that happened was Katie. Katie did an unbelievable piece because she said, you know, looking at the alcohol bottle was really hard for me. I said, I could tell that. Tell this group a time. This is a created reality. I had no idea. Tell this group a time that something happened really bad on Seagram's. I had no idea. What she said is, when I got raped. Whoa! Tell the group about the time you got raped on Seagram's. Well, she's passed out, drunk, and whatnot. Tell the group how you deserve a better life than being passed out. I'm a strong person. Group, tell her how she's been strong with you and helpful in that way. So you just weave it in. You listen to the words that they are using that are positive and say it back to them and then weave it in with other family members. I did a drug tug. Part of you that wants to use is going to pick some people on that part. Part that doesn't want to use is over here. I want you to feel in your body making a stand against drug. Staff can be on the against side, never can be on the pro-drug side. And you always got to stack it so the pro-health side wins. The group, on this one, for example, with, I have the stop sign. I'm going to have you imagine a time you're about to use. Okay, so then open your eyes now, tell us, and I give details. I want you to go back into that imagery you're about to use, and then I want you to open your eyes. You're ready to use? Yeah. As soon as they're all ready to go, okay, open your eyes. And I scream, stop! And they're all like, whoa! I go, perfect. Now go back into your imagery. See yourself about to use. Now see that stop sign. Hear my voice, some other voice screaming, stop. Now see yourself doing something different. What are you seeing yourself do? Tim was in a van at the beach. He was about to smoke. He goes, threw it out, and I just walked down the beach. Went surfing. High five. Okay? Getting a sense of this? Sky's the limit. I hope that you have gained and augmented your sense of being reflexively reflective to little pumpkins and being a traitologist. I hope that you have gained some skills, approaches, of ways of being with kids, both therapeutically and otherwise. I hope that you have gained a further appreciation for the magic mind. I hope that you have further clarified your own philosophies, beliefs, approaches about this incredible art science that we do called psychotherapy. I hope you've gained even some more appreciation for the fantastic species that you are a part of, and that you are what? Bitchin'! Go have a bitchin' summer. Take loving, responsible, respectful care of yourself, and above all else, live life as play. Please fill out those things. Oh, thank you. And thank you for taking this class. Can't believe we're already here. Enjoy. Yeah, do fill out those things that are important. I know we're time struck, but it's important.
Like a recommendation for like the group therapy book.
Oh God, there's so many. I mean, Yalom is the classic.
I've read Yalom.
Right, and it's right. It's very different than this. No, it's very, very different. It's much more about group process and all that. I mean, there's, I haven't kept up. I always like the psychodrama stuff. There's books on psychodrama. This is really kind of psychodrama. Oh yeah, this is psychodrama. Gestalt group therapy. That's good. They'll have 101 exercises for teen groups, and that's fine. It's this attitude is the main thing, and the enthusiasm. They'll grab it and they'll love it. They can't wait. Yeah, fair enough. All right.
Thank you.
It is a pleasure.